I was involved in this band SPK very early on, about early 80s, or the whole industrial thing. Yeah.
And what was your role in the band?
Actually, it was mostly destruction, ideas and destruction. Yeah. Actually, I was more of a conceptual stuff. I came up with ideas, and also lots of metal percussion later on. And that in 81, 82, lots of metal percussion, and then through the metal percussion thing, I'd invariably destroy everything each night. Well, for me, it's nice to play live because then you can show people this is how it's supposed to sound. You're supposed to feel it, not just listen to it. In some other shows where you really do get a really big sound system, I mean, the difference is considerable. Like in Germany, for example, I did a show last October. For the first time in my life, in the sound check, I had to ask them to turn the bass down. My eyeballs were vibrating.
That's
Seriously.
incredible.
It was a nice effect, but you couldn't do it for too long because people would be sick.
Yeah. Well, that's also interesting. Like, when do we hit that brown note? They say 5K.
Well, some people say a.k.a. I think it's a myth. Different low frequencies have an effect, a physical effect. And so do high frequencies, they have an effect. You can burn somebody with high frequencies technically, or theoretically. But the whole point is, yes, you can technically, but the equipment you need to do it is absolutely ridiculous. To play those kind of low frequencies, you're going to need, concrete piston-driven speakers going incredibly slow at incredible volume, and it's kind of impractical. And especially you can technically burn somebody with high frequencies, but it'll be such a high frequency they'll probably die anyway. But when you're doing things like brown note stuff, you're basically talking about 180 decibels, which is the volume of a Saturn V rocket taking off at about 50 feet, which is, like I said, the sound wave alone would probably kill you. I mean, it's truly. You're talking in absolute extremes. So yes, in theory, you could, but I mean, it's not practical. On a movie project, they'll be wanting an animal sound. Well, they don't actually want an animal sound. What they want is what they think is an animal sound. So this is an animal sound here. That's an animal, an actual animal, and so is this. Okay. So when you give them those sounds, well, that's not what they wanted. So, well, that's an animal.
Right.
But they actually wanted it. What I do then, the kind of things I do is create the sounds that they were kind of looking for, which is when they say animal, they don't mean this. What they mean is something more like this, which is not an animal. That's a whole bunch of other stuff, and these kind of sounds. There's an animal in there. Dark version, depth, the reverb you were talking about. So basically, what I do is create a whole bunch of variations so instead of having this, I give them a whole bunch of really big sounds. Is what they actually mean.
That's exactly, yeah.
So like I said, the problem is a lot of people, when they talk about certain kind of sounds, is people think an animal has a really big sound, but as an example, one of the examples of many, but an animal has a really kind of thin, tinny sound, and it doesn't do what people are actually looking for. So you have to create something which is people's idea of an animal. Most people are lucky enough not to know what a real gunshot sounds like.
Right.
Yeah.
When they hear it, they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, it's incredibly like. Well, I go shooting, so it doesn't happen so much these days. It still does though in movies. You don't hardly hear a gunshot without a ricochet. Well, you never hear a ricochet in real life. It's rare to hear a ricochet. The only time you're actually going to hear the ricochet is when you're right next to where the bullet's landing.
Right, and that's not where you want to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
Go.
I get asked a lot about which equipment I use to do what I do, because some people want to emulate what I do. So I have a problem with people emulating to start with. I think originality is much more interesting. I don't have any problem telling people what I use, but I don't think it's that important. That's the whole point that I try to tell people. You know, when I started, it was about over 30 years ago, I was just, I didn't have anything. I literally didn't have any equipment. I would just loan from friends, and my friends didn't have much of anything. What I used was, whatever was available, and sometimes, usually not knowing how to use it. And you come up with stuff. That's the whole thing. You create something with what you have. Like if you had a ton of money and you could buy anything you want, and you have the most sophisticated setup in the world possible, it's going to be pretty useless to you if you don't have any ideas. But if you don't have any equipment and you have some cool ideas, you can do something interesting. Yeah. That's the point. Of course, you always have that self-doubt thing, as why are you even bothering? Well, you bother because it matters. Because I'm really anal about this stuff. When I used to work on film stuff, I edit the hell out of things. I fade out, edits. It's all about the detail for me. I put so much attention to detail in it. The hourly rate is ridiculous, I put way more work into it than I should. But for me, it's really important that my bit is really good. And at least I cared about the details, and my bit made a difference. I have a lot of pride in what I do. Sometimes even on the most ridiculous project, and for me, at least I'm going to take somebody's money to work on a project. I'm going to do the best possible job, even though if it's a piece of shit.
It's a good policy.
Well, not necessarily. It's crazy. Just ideas. It's all about ideas. If you don't have any ideas, well, you shouldn't be doing it anyway.
Well, I have an idea.
A beer?
Yeah, let's get a beer.
Okay, let's get two.
Okay.
We're going to do all this nonsense? No, never mind.
Someone playing a flute? There's something I hate just a second to guitars is flutes.
Welcome to Dubspot. We believe in providing you hands-on experience right away. Whether you're completely new to music and want to turn the sounds in your head into a musical reality, or you're an experienced artist looking to refine your skills and add new tools to your arsenal, we're ready to meet you at your level. For students of all ages, all levels, and all styles of music, Dubspot is here to help you achieve your goals. With course offerings both online wherever you are and at our school in the heart of New York City, we are ready to guide you through the next phase of your musical transformation. Whether you want to produce music, DJ, or do both, you've come to the right place. Come explore Dubspot for yourself, become a part of our community, and make music.